Hi guys, I'm Ella from Bads Fans and I'm here with the band Her Trash. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Damien.
I'm Jax.
And I'm Matt.
So, how did the band come together?
We're all co-workers. This is actually my boss, and this is his dad.
Yeah. No, I'm not his dad.
No, I'm like, hang on, no.
We all work together.
But yeah, we all work together, so.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for work?
Music teaching.
Oh, we love that. Love that. What's the story behind the band name?
There isn't really one. We thought it sounded cool and sounded kind of indie rock, so we're like, yeah, that's cool. We'll do with it. Oh, hold on. Actually, no. Next Door to Her. We have a song called Next Door to Her. I originally thought that was a cool name. Then I decided it was too long. So he thought something like trash or garbage would be cool. So I was like, Her Trash kind of meshes them together. But yeah, so that's sort of the story. But then we're like, it sounds cool.
No, it does sound cool. I agree with that. How did each of you get into music?
Just been playing as long as I can remember. My mum signed me up for guitar lessons when I was 7, and I kind of haven't stopped.
My dad was always into music, this guy, and just like my family in general. So I kind of was like born into it.
Yeah, same for me. My parents were always in bands. That's where I started. Yeah.
Simple answers. We love it
Simple
here.
answers.
What's been your best and worst show by far? And why?
Worst show.
God.
JMC was the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
We did like a live stream thing with JMC a couple of weeks ago as part of their like student practice exam things, and like just very cold vibes, not really an audience interaction. It was like, I mean, we kind of got over it. It was a good show at the end, but it's like, walking in
play
there.
quietly.
Yeah, we had to play.
We had to play quiet. Best show? I actually don't know.
Oh, I have no idea either. I reckon the headline was pretty good because we had such good crowd interaction. I was at the Bendy, but there was no air conditioning, so that was absolutely horrible at the same time.
Stankin'.
I don't know. The Lace Dress one was pretty good too when we played. Whatever we did.
Last
Last Chance was rock and roll.
Yeah.
I would honestly say that one because
Yeah.
the sound was the best there too.
Oh,
yeah, I reckon.
What's with venues literally never having air conditioning? I swear to God, I remember going to a gig at the Gasso and it was like a 30-degree day. I was there like, I need to leave. I need to get out of this place. So shit. What's your creative process like?
Just do it.
Have an idea, write a song.
Yeah, seriously.
We love it.
If it sounds good, it like is good, and so we just sort of do. If something clicks, it clicks. We normally go through ideas, and then just like once something inspires one of us, then we can fully write a song around that.
Just
Yeah.
noodle around a few chords, a few bass lines, a drum riff, and just something magically comes out of it, and bang, there's the start of the process, you know. Sometimes it's a lyric, sometimes it's a rock beat, sometimes it's a bass line, sometimes it's a guitar riff. Whatever comes first.
But in general, very much based around like jamming in a rehearsal room rather than like sketching it out on a computer and
Yeah.
And normally
bringing that
it's
in.
one word for me that inspires me to write a riff. So I get a word like one of our songs, So Far So Good, coming out soon hopefully. I just thought it sounded cool, so I wrote it down in notes. Everything I do is because it sounds cool, but I wrote it down in notes and I was like, all right, that's a song.
Of course.
Yeah.
You guys have 2 singles out so far. Are there anything you'd change about them? Any key takeaways?
Love You Longer is probably the only one I'd change something. I'd probably remix and master Love You Longer, but I already did it like 10 times. But it was our first song, and I mixed and mastered it, and I learned so much, and Nose to Nose is so much more polished. But I'm glad I also made mistakes, because that means I could grow. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with them though.
Yeah. I think it's just the way the songs evolve when we play them live.
Yeah.
But, you know, in the studio, you know, I've seen walk in the studio and Jack's got like 30 layers of backup voices there, you know. But we're a 3-piece band, but they sound good in the recording. But when we play live, it's just about getting the energy out there, you know.
Yeah, so we always change it.
So it always changes and
Yeah.
evolves with the crowd, you know. So then sometimes you wonder, do you take that back into the mix or not, you know. But, yeah, usually it's no.
Yeah, it's like a mix of everything, yeah. I mean, our first 2 songs, Nose to Nose and Love You Longer, we recorded before we actually played any gigs. So we hadn't really road tested it. And it sort of was highlighted because we sort of made it in the studio in a sense. Where with our other songs, which I think sound a lot more coherent, especially in the demos already, we road tested that and have played like probably 7-8 shows with them. But yeah.
Would you guys like to say like a bit about those songs, like what they're about, how they came to be?
I reckon Love You Longer is the best one Nose to Nose is just a cute little sloppy, sad love, not sad, happy love story.
Sappy.
Sappy, that's
Sappy,
it.
you're sappy.
But Love You Longer, it was our first song. It was what started Her Trash. Indie rock Mary Had a Little Lamb. The whole riff is dun dun dun. That first little bit of Mary Had a Little Lamb turned into indie rock Mary Had a Little Lamb, which turned into Love You Longer, which made me invite Damien over, going, "Hey mate, let's do a bit of a jam on this." And so yeah,
Make an actual song out of it.
yeah.
And I said, what about me? Can I join in?
Oh yeah, and then the lyric "Love You Longer" was something my girlfriend wrote in a card. So like lots of little cool messages in there. Again, all of them are a bit sappy, aren't they? I'm a sappy person.
Oh no.
No, we love that though. We love a bit of
exactly,
happiness.
yeah.
Exactly.
Hard on sleeve.
How do you guys prepare for shows?
We,
Just step on. Just
Yeah.
do it.
Just do
Go
it,
on.
yeah.
Get some jumping jacks.
Yeah, we do some like jumping.
Yeah.
I mean, at the last one, me and Damien were sort of like jumping around getting our beans out, but like we weren't really doing much.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I tend to psych myself out. If I go through lyrics and chords, I go, "Oh shit, I forgot them." But like, if I just get up there and have fun, then I don't overthink it. But yeah.
Yeah. My ritual is get up on stage, turn the bass amp up a bit more before we start.
Yeah.
But it's because we're up there just having fun. We're not taking it too seriously.
Yeah.
We're just there to have some fun. You just don't think about it too much, do we? Just do it.
No, it's definitely good to just like see it as like fun. You
Yeah.
won't stress about it that much. Then.
Yeah.
Are there any up and coming bands you guys will recommend?
Incoming. Oh, I gotta say, Full Nelson. I sort of follow them along, and I just like look at them, and they're really sick. I mean, I think they've got like 11,000 followers. Like they're big, but they're also up
Yeah.
and coming. But they're sick. Their whole aesthetic. I haven't actually shown it to these two guys. I need to do that, but I think they're sick. And
I love the name actually.
Yeah, I know the whole vibe is sick. I think vibes are super underrated in music now. Everything needs to be a vibe for me.
It's very fair. I mean, most of my favorite bands are more like maybe a bit less normal than our music. So like I'm pretty into metal in general, and like underground metal kind of popping right now.
Yeah.
But
Any specific bands you'd recommend from that scene?
specific bands. Of course, this is where my brain goes blank. Probably Igor is fantastic. IGORRR. Just off chops.
Any from you?
I listen to old rock most of the time. And then I've got to say though, I've been enjoying Dominic Fike. I know he's not up and coming, but I listen to what he's listened to, so I
Yeah.
can keep up with these guys here.
What's your dream venue to play at?
The Forum.
I feel like it's always the Forum.
It's always the
It is
Forum.
always
It has
the
to be the
Forum.
Forum.
I think like Max Watts or like 170 Russell would be cool. I like the sort of
Achievable.
mid-sized venues where it's big enough to where it makes you feel like a star, but also like small enough to where you could like see the crowd. Where did I see Spacey Jane play? They played it in early, I think it was January. Oh
Down St Kilda, wasn't it?
no, that was the Prince. That was Prince Band Rooms would be sick as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a few. Any sort of mid-sized venue. I just want to play at a mid-sized venue where you can get like 1,000 people in there,
Yeah.
800 people.
Understandable.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Get the vibes.
How do you guys balance time with the band and with like other priorities?
Have very understanding girlfriends and wives
Yeah.
and family. Yeah. No.
Well, we just live and breathe music, all of us.
Yeah.
Like, we teach music. We've all done producing. We all do like all sorts of stuff in music. So, I handle a lot of the marketing and stuff. But like, I know if I ever need to like sort of dish it out, I know Damien and my dad are always there to help with that. And we're all like creative minded away from music as well.
My
Just,
job
like,
is to keep these guys employed, you know, teaching music, so they don't have to worry about getting
Yeah,
paid for shows, you know.
But
So
yeah. It's like a mix, but
Yeah.
it is a lot of time. I know earlier in the year, Damien saw me. I was like working 12 hours and really pushing myself because I was like taking a lot of producing clients as well. And then Damien was like, "You look dead out of the band practice." It was like 6 o'clock at night. But yeah, I've sort of settled down and sort of settled into things. And I feel like Her Trash generally has. We're not having to stress as much because we're playing enough shows to where rehearsals are less needed. And it's more fun now, I reckon. I'm not stressing about it quite as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys think the Aussie music community will evolve into the future?
Oh.
Take the microphone, Damien. You never get it because you're the drummer.
What a huge question. What?
I can tell you where it's come from. You know, I've got to say what I've loved is pre-kids, I used to play 5 nights a week around Melbourne here, and it was just band venues everywhere. But it's very competitive amongst bands. What I love now is the community feeling of the bands. You know, the smaller gigs, you don't get paid as much, but the bands are all working together, doing 3 lineups. You know, who wants to be the headlining act, and everybody's just working together.
Well, like live music has made a comeback.
Yeah.
Like every night, people having live music. Where I felt like before, pre-COVID, I'd say, I feel like there was less live music, and especially during COVID, it took a dip, obviously.
Yeah.
I just felt like live music sort of took a slump when nightclubs got really big. Andrew, in the background.
I also wonder about purely where people are going to be playing, because there's obviously been a lot of like venue shutdowns and just like I mean, the Gasso is still pretty raw in my heart.
Yeah.
Nightcap was going to be shut down too.
Yeah,
they had a
that's
successful
Hopefully
campaign.
not.
Oh yeah, they had a campaign and sort of pushed against it, but yeah.
But like in the wake of all this, is there going to be more like garage shows, like sort of really underground stuff?
Yeah,
that's what I'm curious about.
Well,
Is there an opening for that?
Like going back to like the 90s, 2000s, where you played in like your backyard, because like my dad was saying, Matt was saying, you're not making as much money. So that means the venues probably aren't making as much money either, because I mean, for an average band, you pull like 50, 60 people on like a good night, and that almost fills out a room. But drinks-wise,
we used to play in front of 800, 1,000 kids,
Yeah.
you know, and you make really good money, you know, and venues used to pay us.
Yeah, and it was
you
mostly
know,
cover bands as well.
And it was cover bands back then, but you know, out eastern suburbs, you know, if you go to Ringwood, there was like 4 band venues just in the main street of Ringwood, you know, and even further out towards sort of Bayswater and Montrose, there was 2 nightclubs as well, you know, and they were all dragging in 800 kids, you know. They were great fun, so it's really changed, you know. But there's bugger all out there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Nothing out there.
Nothing
So
out,
you do
yeah.
have to come to the city, so I hope it still keeps going here. But I think I like the format they're doing now is where the venues are sort of saying, okay, you bands, you are responsible for paying for the sound guy. I think this is how it's working, you know, they pay for the sound guy, so you get 3 band lineups, sell enough tickets to sort of pay for the sound
Hopefully.
guy. Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, been good so far. And then after that, you make a little bit of cash. But what that does do, it gives up-and-coming bands more of a go to get out there and perform and try their work, where back years ago, you know, the venue was going to pay for you. They wanted you to have a reputation first. Now you can get out there and try your stuff out, you know, and it's not much of a risk to the venue, you know.
Yeah.
If you guys made a rumor about the band, what would it be?
Oh, no, you got to do this one. You're the...
A rumour.
Rumour about the
Rumour.
Hold on. We need a second. Rumour.
A rumour.
I got it.
Oh.
Damien's secretly playing air drums, and he's actually playing to a backing track because he's so tight. It doesn't. It's not actually real. He's actually just like whacking.
Sorry, all drums are pre-recorded.
Yeah.
My bad.
I like that.
Okay, that's the rumor then.
That's
the rumour.
That's the
I love
rumor.
it.
No, it's not
It's
real.
actually true.
It's fact.
folks.
It's
It's true, it's true. It's not a rumor,
Gave that
guys.
away.
You heard it here. You heard it here. What's your favourite Coles aisle?
Coles Isle.
I'm a fruit bat. It's definitely just like the fresh produce.
Yeah.
Isn't it where they
The frozen aisle. You got the most choice there. Like you got like the berries, and you also got like the chicken tenders and chips. You know,
Yep.
and ice cream. Like you got everything.
Mine's the cheese and the red wine.
Is that an aisle?
They're not right next to each other, Matt.
Yeah.
You need one aisle.
At the
You have to-
IGA they are. Very close at the front there, you know. Get the cheese and crackers, some red wine.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. Okay. I agree with those choices, to be honest. Go-to pre-gig food or drink?
Kebabs.
Yeah.
So that's I post.
hang on, post-gig,
Post
post-gig.
gig. I don't.
That's post-gig.
Yeah,
But I do
feel
it before sometimes
Yeah,
too.
really?
Yeah.
I can't eat before a gig just because like I'm worried I'm gonna get like the hiccups or something.
Ends up over the microphone.
Yeah.
But no, I can't eat before a gig.
Yeah.
Never been able to. Bloody hungry afterwards.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not, yeah,
it's like-
it's not like that I make myself not eat. I just am not hungry, which is interesting.
I feel like it's like that with a lot of artists. Everyone I've asked this question, they're like, "Oh, we don't eat," and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Full stop.
"Yeah, we don't eat. You know, that's it."
Air subsistence. Let's go.
So you guys obviously have a show coming up this week, which is Amped Up Night. How are you guys feeling?
Pretty good.
Yeah. pretty excited. It's a fun venue, Revs. First time playing there. Super keen with the lineup. So hopefully we pull a good crowd and have a good night of fun. Get some mosh pits going and everything. Get the crowd jumping. But yeah, excited.
Yep. I can't wait to meet some new bands again. You know, Chloe Booth, we've never
Yeah,
played
Astral
with her.
High.
Never
Yeah.
played
Like,
with
I'm
them
super
before,
keen
so-
for Astral High.
Yeah,
I mean,
Astral High are amazing.
their single that they put out, absolutely fat.
So, yeah.
How did you guys come up with the idea for Amped Up?
Oh, we got given after playing at the Bendigo. The dude was like, the organizer was like, "Hey, you want to play at the Revs?" And we were like, "Shit, we're not big enough to play at Revs." So like, let's put together some bands. And I wanted it to be a night where, rather than a band fully headlines, it's more so a community indie rock event. Because I find when a band headlines, or even just when it's separate bands, it's almost like there's 3 separate shows. People come for that one artist, leave, come for another artist, leave. I didn't want that. I wanted people to come for everyone and like experience new music, because people need to. I feel like if people heard any of these artists, they'd probably fucking love them.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of what we wanted.
Well, I think it'll go really good. Honestly, the lineup, amazing. If you guys aren't there, you're all losers and flops. Like, go get fucked if you're not there, genuinely.
Nice.
But seeing that we're at the museum, what's your favourite dinosaur?
Stegosaurus.
Stegosaurus. L choice. Sorry,
Yeah, I know, right?
either the Velociraptor or an
pretty good.
Allosaurus.
An Alsaurus.
Allosaurus.
Oh, Alsaurus.
It's got to be T-Rex, doesn't it?
No, they got little ants, man.
No, because man, I'm so old. I love the old band T-Rex. You see, so
Oh,
yeah.
that's why you know.
T-Rex. No.
And last question, anything to promote or say to anyone watching?
Stream our song.
Stream
we
our
got a
song.
couple of songs
We've got
actually.
new songs coming out. Follow us on everything and come to our shows. Honestly, don't even follow us. Just come to our shows and you'll love our
Actually.
music. We want to have fun with you guys. So yeah.
But they've got to follow you so they
I
know
don't-
when the shows are on.
Oh, they can-
yeah, come and get the
I'll find it to other
notifications.
people.
Come along.
I'll find out. It's
Find out.
fine.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much. I hope the show this week goes amazing.
Thank you.
I will be in attendance, of course.
Amazing.
Of course. Well, thank you guys for watching. This has been Bads Fans. Bye.